trying to always build around what somebody does well. What is the DNA, the nucleus of what they do? Yeah. And everybody who gets to the tour is great at something because they're the top 1% of the 1% of golfers around the world. So I think people sometimes forget that, oh, that won't work. Well, if you'd gone back 15 years, people would look at Scotty Scheffler and probably go, that's not going to work.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on an island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers record was better, but he's still James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Let's get back at it, people. It is a Friday right here on the SportsGrid Network. It's the early line, and we are ready to go. We finally made it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, out the window. Friday is here, and a big-time weekend of sports is on the horizon. And mind you, next time you see us here on the early line, it will be the month of March, and you know what that means. It's March Madness. But our job over the next 2 hours is to get you all the hottest topics you need so you can be smarter around the water cooler. I'm Donnie Right Side. He's Joe Ranieri. And Joe, away we go on a Friday. We made it.
Yeah, I mean, put up or shut up time, right? Final week before we get conference championships, those tournaments starting here in another week, Donnie. So we say goodbye to February, but we get ready for March and all that comes with this. It's called madness.
Come on now. Come on, Joe. It is the madness. The madness means that the weather and the temperature should start to rise here on the East Coast. And Joe's still down in Florida keeping up the heat, but no heat better than caffeinated Joe. Where are we going, Joe?
All right, Donnie, so you got to love this. The NFL owners just learned a very expensive lesson about how the real world works these days. Because you may recall, Donnie, we talked about it just 13 days ago. The NFL owners threw a temper tantrum, and they paid high-priced lawyers to go to court and win a labor grievance against the Players Association to legally prevent the union from releasing their annual anonymous player survey. Well, the owners said it was disparaging, and, well, they wanted it buried, and they did not want it released to the public. Well, the courts agreed with them. Great. So guess what? Well, welcome to 2026, because yesterday, well, that survey leaked anyway, and the results are absolutely incredible. And let's start at the top. Who's the number one run organization in the National Football League, according to the players? Believe it or not, Donnie, for the third year in a row, it's the Miami Dolphins. And I know, they were terrible on the field. They just fired their head coach. They fired their general manager. Of course, ownership has been accused of literally paying coaches to tank in the past. But if you want a great weight room, top-tier food, and a front office that takes care of your family on game day, well, South Beach is the place to be. They got A's across the board, Donnie, third year in a row. But let's face it, we don't care about the honor roll. We only care about the bottom of this list. And this year, the absolute worst franchise to play for, according to the players in the NFL. Shockingly, Donnie, it wasn't the Browns. It wasn't the Cardinals. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers, the franchise that we are always told is the epitome of stability and the gold standard of the NFL is officially a dumpster fire behind closed doors. And look at these grades from their own players. An F in the treatment of families, an F minus on the quality of their stadium's playing surface, an F for travel accommodations, and my absolute personal favorite, an F minus for the locker room. Why? Well, because an NFL team with a 53-man roster and, of course, practice squad guys apparently only has 5 bathroom stalls in it. Are you kidding me? The players gave the Rooney family a D minus for ownership. How they did that is amazing. But do you know who got an A? Mike Tomlin. And suddenly, Donnie, it all makes sense, doesn't it? We were all wondering why Tomlin finally threw his hands up and walked away from the organization after his 100th season. Well, now we know. The guy was tired of coaching a team where players have to wait in line out the door just to use the restroom. So good luck to the new head coach, Mike McCarthy. You're going to need it because I'm sure you'll have absolutely no problem getting the Rooney family to open up that checkbook and fix these issues. And, of course, good luck to the front office, Donnie, trying to recruit top-tier free agents next month. Hey, come sign with the Steelers, right? We got tradition. Our field is absolutely terrible. We don't take care of your families. And, oh, yeah, by the way, don't ask for a private bathroom anytime soon. You got to love the NFL, Donnie. It never sleeps, my man.
They always say that Pittsburgh is, quite frankly, stuck in the 70s. Maybe you want to update those facilities from the 70s. And Joe hits the nail on the head. Players, especially guys making hundreds of millions of dollars, they just want to show up to work and be comfortable. So let's go through what Joe was talking about here. Acrisure Stadium here. The field is terrible. Why? They share it with high school, college, and the pros. And we're not talking about, Joe, like, oh, it's easy to grow grass in Arizona or Las Vegas or Southern California. You play in the Northeast in a belt where once you get to October, you can't grow grass. That doesn't make sense. Also understand this. The place where they practice, Joe, did you know they share it with the Pittsburgh Panthers, a pro facility that has to accommodate pros and also college facilities. And isn't it simple just to keep your players happy? Or are you just renting the worst Spirit Airlines knockoff plane to take your team from away games back to the home surface here? It's ridiculous how it turns out, but it kind of makes me laugh where I'm so glad these come out because you say to yourself, the Miami Dolphins, who would ever want to play there? I don't know. Play in warm weather, and your owner goes, whatever you need for you to be accountable out there, I got you covered. That goes a long way at this point right now. Great topic, Joe, to start off our Friday show. Now let's get into the early lineup, which includes a guy who used to play in the state of Florida for Miami. That's Chris Bosh. Woke up on the floor bleeding. We don't know exactly what the circumstances is. I hope we get to the bottom of it, but my goodness. He battled, blood clots throughout his career. I don't know if it has something to do with this, but boy, that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the, truly great guys and the unsung hero of that whole, era with LeBron here in Miami. I mean, he could not have been a better guy in the community and everything. And unfortunately, had those blood clot issues there and his career was cut short. You realize he's only 41, Donnie, 41, and this poor guy has been going through it, wakes up on the floor in his bathroom covered in blood. I mean, scary stuff, but certainly hope that the doctors are able to figure something out and he's going to be okay in the future. But what a scary situation.
Crazy when you think about his name. It's like he retired in 2019. It feels like he retired like back in 2009. Yeah. It's been so long since you heard it, but certainly just trying to go out and have a nice bite to eat with his wife. Ends up on the floor there, doesn't remember too much here. Hopefully he gets the help he needs. SGA must have got the help he needs, Joe. After missing 9 games, SGA's back saying, that MVP, it's going to be mine.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Of course, why not? As long as the refs keep blowing a whistle and send you to the free throw line, you should be good to go. But it's not a matter of coming back, Donnie. We know it's a matter of staying back. That's going to be the interesting thing here moving forward. And, of course, the schedule a little more compact in March. So we'll see how many games on a back-to-back he actually plays.
He's got to play the rest of the string out, basically, to get that MVP. We'll see if he can do it. So certainly some intrigue there. Anthony Richardson Sr. I always like this. When the club goes, yeah, you're free to seek a trade, which means we called everybody. We couldn't find anything. Can you please do it for us?
Correct. Yeah, basically. Good luck. I'm sure there's a USFL team that'll take a shot with him, Donnie, somewhere along the line.
Trades in the NFL. We're at the Combine right now. Jermaine Johnson, Joe, your Jets, a little bit more depleted now. Trading Jermaine Johnson, tough scene.
Yeah, he was supposed to be one of the defensive building blocks for the future, and the kid is, he was fantastic.
Foundation.
Loved him. Yeah, not anymore. Now they're trading him to the Tennessee Titans for a basically different kind of player, but same type of situation. Let's just hope it works out. But it's the Jets we're talking about, Donnie.
Joe, Con Knipple can shoot. We didn't know if he would shoot this well through 59 games. He's the all-time leader for rookies in three-point shots made here. Con Knipple blazing a trail from three.
Yeah, we said it, right? Watch this kid play, and he's playing on a very good team with other young guys. He can ball, flat-out ball.
Trump's going to get involved. The art of the deal, Joe. It's broken in college football, college basketball, and college athletics. Can he make the difference, Joe?
Yeah, I'm just curious as to why Tiger Woods is on this new committee he's putting together. But that's a different story. That's a different story, man.
Yeah. It looks like everybody said, hey, how can we all benefit from this? We already have a lot of money in our back pocket here. You know what, talking about money in your back pocket? FIFA's telling you, hey, man, I don't care if you're handicapped. You got to pay too. What a terrible look. $175 for parking here, and even more possibly if you're handicapped. Boy, this seems like the world's game, people, doesn't it?
Yeah. It feels you're going to feel like you have to buy it for the world because, my goodness, those prices are out of control.
Some people have been in a wheelchair their whole life, Joe, like, I'm not paying that. I'll walk to the arena. How about that? We'll be right back on the Friday edition. Next.
Nick Kurtz will receive American League first place votes this year. You gonna buy that, George? You want to sell that? I believe we had Caminero, we had Raleigh, we had Aaron Judge,
Bobby Witt. He'll be there as well. I'm a big fan of Kurtz. No, we're not related, by the way, for those who are wondering. Okay, not as far as I know. I keep getting that.
You're a little taller than him.
Right, just a wee bit. Yeah, Nick is a.
Be like this, actually.
I'm not sure Nick would fill in his room. Yeah, that's something like that. But my only problem with him, I think he's gonna have a great year. All right, I think he's gonna have a very good year here. He's gonna be fantastic. I picked 12 in my points league. If he's there at 12, I'm taking him. I'm just grabbing him here. I don't have a second round pick, but I'm taking him anyway. My only issue is this: they're not gonna be very good, right? They may be a little better than expected. Maybe they approach 500, maybe. But it's tough to get MVP votes when you're not winning. All right, you're not in the playoff contention or anything like that. Are you going to be able to beat out an Aaron Judge? I'll buy. I think he's going to have a big season. I think he can get one. I don't think he'll be very, won't be top 3 or anything. I think he can get one. Yes, I'll buy.
Yeah, I'm going to sell this. I was really I understand what the metrics said, and a lot of smart people, George, that I asked told me that Judge probably was the MVP. But man, Cal Raleigh couldn't win MVP with that season that he had last year. And I understand all we're doing is asking questions about first place votes, but don't think there's a lot of love for the voters with Sacramento, no matter what Nick Kurtz does. I'm going to sell this.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Top spread lines for you today, right here on a Friday on the SportsGrid Network. It's the early line. It's Donnie, it's Joe here, and Friday means business here. Bangers on Friday night. Let's start in the college game, Joe. Let's head over to the Big Ten. Michigan taking on Illinois. Look at this line. Overnight, Joe, -1.5 or so is a favorite towards Michigan, depending on where you're shopping at. Today, sitting at 2.5, and I'm even seeing a 3 in the marketplace as a favorite for Michigan. The total of this game listed at 157.5. If you're looking at offense, you got it in efficiency with Illinois, #1 in Big Ten play. How about Michigan's defense? #2 in efficiency in Big Ten play. 2 very good offenses, 2 very good defenses, and away we go, Joe. Give us that spread line for a Friday night in the Big Ten between Michigan and Illinois.
You got to love it, right? I mean, Michigan chasing the outright Big Ten title at number 10, Illinois. I mean, they're basically 1 win away from, I think, completing. It's basically what has been an amazing 2-year journey, right? From the basement of the Big Ten now, Donnie, to the top of the mountain. Unbelievable. But you're right. The money, all Michigan here so far overnight. Total interesting, too, as well, because we know, listen, Illinois at home can flat out shoot you out of the gym, Donnie. It's going to be interesting to see where that total goes, but you know what this is going to be. This is just going to be a precursor to what is soon to come, not only in the Big Ten championship, but of course in March Madness. This should be absolutely a heavyweight of all heavyweight fights here tonight. Don't be shocked, though, if Michigan ends up pulling out the outright road win here.
And we started the show by telling you today is February 27th. By Monday, we're in the month of March. Every game means more. And also, Joe, looking at the schedules, down to 2 and 3 games for most of these teams here. We're just on the brink of conference tournament action here. Let's go over to the MAC. Akron's going to take on Kent State tonight, Joe. Akron, the road team, but favored at -4.5 at most outlets here, but a total of 164.5, which means we want to get points. Why? Akron is fast. Akron loves to shoot the 3-point shot. But, Joe, Akron is also the most efficient defense in conference play in the MAC. What's that spread line tonight? Akron on the road taking on Kent State.
And Akron is right behind, of course, Miami of Ohio in the MAC, right? They're the second best team in that conference. But the thing about this game, Donnie, for those that don't follow the MAC, don't understand what's going, this is without a doubt one of the, if not the best regional rivalries in the sport. These two schools hate one another. In fact, they played 3 weeks ago, Donnie, and guess what? They couldn't even get to the tip-off before guys started pushing and shoving each other and guys in the stands were going at it. This is absolutely one of the best rivalries in all of sports. But Akron has the upper hand in the last couple of meetings. They've won 7 of 9, I believe. But my goodness, they haven't allowed Kent State to score more than 72 points since March of 2023. So do not be shocked if hard fouls and some great defense is played in this one. But Akron, boy, they're going to be a tough cookie to break here for Kent State.
Oh, we got a mismatch we're going to talk about in the MAC. Undefeated, the only undefeated team in NCAA Division I action. Miami of Ohio on the road to take on Western Michigan. This line overnight, Joe, set at 12.5, still sits at 12.5 this morning, and a total of 161.5. The best offense in MAC play, which is Miami of Ohio, taking on the worst defense, which is Western Michigan. The one thing we do know is they love to shoot the 3-point shot. They can shoot inside the arc. They get to the free throw. And also, the best team in conference play at not turning the basketball over, which is Miami of Ohio, going up against Western Michigan, the team that forces the least amount of turnovers in conference play. Miami by 12.5. That's the spread line, Joe. What do we see here?
Yeah, you know, here's the catchy part here, though, folks. As much as we love Miami of Ohio, we want it to go. We also know here 6 times over 4 seasons, Miami of Ohio has actually lost as a favorite to Western Michigan here, and they're only 1-2 on the road against them. But you know, this is a different Western Michigan team as well, as you mentioned, Donnie. Only 3-11 in MAC play. But listen, we've had stranger upsets. I don't think this is a Miami of Ohio team that's going to sleep, knowing the history of Western Michigan and how they've found a way to beat them over the last 3 to 4 years. So I would expect Miami of Ohio not just to win, but to win convincingly in this one.
So in their last game, Joe, you thought they might have had a little bit of a tough struggle here. They put the lights out of their opponent early on. I expect them to do the same thing. Miami of Ohio run them out to a double-digit lead at the half. Cruise to a victory. We'll see what happens tonight if they can stay undefeated. Let's flip it over to the NBA. And tonight at 9:30, the Oklahoma City Thunder at home. Did you see our spread lines to open up the show here? Did you see our, early lineup? SGA expected to be back tonight. The Nuggets are on the road, and the Nuggets getting 8.5 points from SGA and the crew in a total of 232.5, Joe. Take a look at that. And by the way, the Thunder only getting 37% of the tickets on this one. Denver versus OKC. Give me that spread line.
Well, the Nuggets don't play any defense, and that's the problem there. Until they get Aaron Gordon back, they are not going to be considered a defensive team, but they are the number one offensive team, and guess who the number one defensive team is? Oklahoma City. So they get SGA back, although I don't ever like betting teams, Donnie, that get their superstar in the first game after a long absence. You know, it usually takes them a game or so in order to get back into the flow of things. But make no mistake, I mean, the Nuggets are going to have to score and score a lot in this game if they're going to win it. I don't know that the Thunder are going to do a great job of actually stopping them doing that. So I would only look at an over in this game, Donnie. There is no way I expect the Denver Nuggets to slow down OKC at all.
Some good games tonight in the association, only 5 total here, but the game that's going to start everything off, the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons here. Overnight, that line was around 7 points. Now we're seeing 6s and 6.5s in the marketplace here, a total of 226.5. No James Harden for the Cavaliers. The Pistons at home, Joe. What's your spread line for this game tonight in the East?
Well, the Cavs now holding on to the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference here. But, you know, listen, Detroit, you mentioned it here, has had a problem against maybe some of the West Coast teams. But the East Coast teams, they've done a pretty good job for. Tough break with the whole Harden breaking of the hand injury, him being on the sideline now. So Dennis Schroeder going to have to be the guy that is going to have to step up for the Cavs here. Feels like a big number, though, here with the Pistons. They don't tend to run away from the better teams. I think it's going to be a lot closer than the spread indicates, so I would only look at getting the points in this one.
5 games in the association tonight. Game number 1 starts at 7 o'clock. That's the Cavs Pistons, and ends as we started there with the Nuggets and the OKC Thunder. Let's take a look at more college basketball coming up next on a Friday edition of the Early Line. Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number 1 in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and you know, with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on an island. You saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers' record was better, but he's still at James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
College basketball news here, starting with Oregon State. Yes, that Oregon State. It's amazing where it's like, hey, man, we're having a lot of fun in the Pac-12 out here, a major Division I conference here, power conference. We shared all those media rights. And when the music stopped, there were no chairs left for Washington State or Oregon State. You knew changes were going to be on the horizon here, and expectations were going to plummet. Oregon State has now decided to part ways with Wayne Tinkle. Athletic director Scott Barnes told the Field of 68. Barnes said that Tinkle has been given the opportunity to finish the season if he chooses. And by the way, for a college coach at a major Division I program, which, again, they're not major Division I anymore, 176 and 204 in 12 seasons. He had some really bad runs there, but had the one Elite Eight in 2021. It's amazing that a guy lasted that long for having some seasons, Joe, with 3 and 5 wins.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Tinkle has been a very well-respected college basketball coach out there. He was always middle of the pack in the Pac-12, Donnie, when it was there. I mean, you were losing guys out to USC, to UCLA. I mean, it was, he was never going to be at the top of the echelon. Then Oregon and Dana Altman. So he was always middle of the road, but he did have some good teams and not an easy place to play. But unfortunately, it looks like now that they're relaunching the Pac-12 next year, looks like they're going to want a fresh voice there for Oregon State. So out with the old, in with the new, they say.
Like, can you imagine, like, let's just take it from Oregon State's perspective. Like, you are in the Pac-12 with some of the biggest football teams in the United States in a wealthy and powerful conference that, for some reason, your leadership absolutely blew it up, which is hilarious to begin with. But at the same time, you're like, we have a big football stadium. We expanded. We spent a lot of money. We have nobody to play now. Oh, we have a college you can't even fill up the arena because you can't sell kids on even what the future of this conference is going to be. For the Pac-12 to go down to 2 teams was quite hilarious here. We'll see if they can rebound. But as you said, rebranding with some other schools, decent schools that are going to come into the Pac-12, but nothing like the Pac-12 of what we saw in the past year. Other scores from last night in college basketball, Joe, you nailed this one. Michigan State getting points? Nah, didn't need them. Outright over Purdue at Purdue, 76-74.
I did not understand the money, and I mean a ton of money coming in on Purdue with that kind of history this year. Listen, they have not done well at Mackey Arena against the elite defenses of the Big Ten, right? And guess what? They didn't do well again last night against one of the top 3 defenses in the Big Ten. Michigan State owned the boards. Michigan State was just all over them. And voila, just didn't need the 8.5 points, Donnie, because the outright win for Izzo, who, by the way, had not won at Mackey Arena, I think, his last 7 tries. So kudos to Michigan State to get it done.
Staying undefeated, that's the challenge for Miami, Ohio here. Undefeated so far on the season. They're going to take on Western Michigan tonight as double-digit favorites, Joe. Then on the 3rd of March, they're going to play at home against Toledo. Then their final game on the 6th of March at Ohio. Win those 3 games, stay unbeaten. Tonight, looks like it might be the easiest of those, but as we like to say, sometimes it's buyer beware, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at this point, we've already seen them, Donnie, right? You would have thought people have been betting against them now for the better part of a month because they're like, yeah, no, it's going to get to them. The pressure is going to be too. No, all they have done is single-handedly, ever since those 2 overtime games that they got away with against, Buffalo and Kent State, in fact, they have just been demolishing everybody else in the conference. They don't look rattled in any way, shape, or form. You're talking about a team averaging almost 92 points a game. I don't think it's going to be a problem here tonight, nor do I think it's going to be a problem the rest of the way.
Yeah, and also understand this. You take a look at the predictive markets here. Undefeated in the men's college basketball regular season, now trading at 58%. That is Miami of Ohio. The reason I bring this up, Joe, is when you look at a conference, because there are those thoughts out there. If Miami of Ohio gets tripped up in the regular season and doesn't win the regular season tournament, they're going to be left out. You know, here's that as well. That's the conference. I'm not saying there's going to be a marketing strategy behind the scenes to tell the refs that make sure you call fouls in advantage of Miami of Ohio. But in the best interest of this conference, it's great for this conference if Miami can run through this undefeated. I'm just saying, Joe.
It's great for everyone. I mean, currently they're in the top 25, right? Number 21 here if they run the table. And they need to run the table, Donnie, because if something goes awry in the MAC championship there and they don't end up winning the conference tournament, they still have a really good shot as a mid-major at being able to get an at-large bid.
Exactly. Like, again, if they go undefeated and lose in a round number 2 of the MAC and don't make it in, just burn the whole thing down because it's not the BCS where the top 2 teams go or top 12 teams go in the country. You got to be kidding me. I don't care what their strength of schedule is at this point here. They scheduled who they scheduled. They went undefeated in conference play. That should be enough to get it in. And also, it is kind of interesting where you take a look at these smaller conferences. Hey, I went undefeated, 20-0 in conference play. Then I lost in my conference tournament, but I'm not the regular season champion that should be able to go to the playoff. Stop the madness here. We'll be right back. More Hot Topics on the way on a Friday. Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number 1 in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on an island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers' record was better, but he's still at James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Joe, we love topics here on the early line each and every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes we're going to break down games here, give you the information that you need to know, but also some interesting talking points. And I love to see how teams get fined, how players get fined, but more importantly, why they actually got fined. In the NFL, it's a crime. Hey, man, your socks are too low. It's $15,000. Dude, I'm a rookie. I only made $20,000, but it doesn't matter. Give us over $15,000. You see that tackle you made? Even though the running back put his head down, you did too. That's $50,000. Whoa, I only made $35,000. Doesn't matter. $50,000. You're going to owe us even $15,000 next week. NBA Communications sent out a response. The Timberwolves' Edwards, which is Anthony Edwards, one of the best players in the NBA, was fined $25,000 for throwing a game ball with force into the spectator stands. Now, understand this. If you haven't watched the video, which I did, and I'm going to explain in a second, Joe, you would think he caught the basketball, game was over, everybody's leaving the court, and he fired a fastball at a fan that plunked them in the back of the head and caused a concussion. No, Joe. I watched the video. Horn sounded, looked like he threw the ball down the opposite side of the court as if trying to make the basket, and he missed it, and it cost him $25,000.
Yeah. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Right. But right now, I mean, listen, the NBA and Adam Silver are all over the map here. This whole tanking thing is getting worse by the day, and they don't know what to do. So right now, it feels to me like Adam Silver and the front office in the NBA feels like they might be losing a little bit of control here, Donnie, because all their yelling and sternly worded emails that they're sending out to GMs don't seem to be working very much. So to me, that's just low-hanging fruit. Don't throw the ball, even though he was trying to make a shot. Like, I don't understand, because I'm with you. That's exactly what it looked like, but now it cost him $25,000. Kind of crazy here.
Like, the horn clearly sounded, yes, but also it was halftime. Wasn't it the end of the game? Like, I'm so frustrated we lost, I'm going to punt this basketball and hurt somebody in the stands. Unbelievable. That's a fine here. We'll see if it goes through an appeal process, whatever it might be. How about this return? Shams Charania. Taj Gibson has agreed to a deal with the Memphis Grizzlies. At 40 years old, he's back in the NBA for his 17th season here. Looks like Memphis is putting all their chips to the center of the table trying to win, Joe. Huh?
Donnie, if you don't think tanking's alive and well in the NFL, you've got pro teams not getting G League guys, young guys that are hungry, right? Try to see. You're going the 40-year-old route. You're bringing in Taj Gibson, who likely will pull a hamstring in the first 5 minutes of himself being on the court. You're rolling those guys out. That tells you everything you need to know about the state of the NBA and tanking right now.
That's pretty good. Maybe you could get away with that if it was based like, hey, I'm not starting the clock on one of my better prospects. I don't want to pay him, which is the most asinine thing you can ever have for any league. But it's funny to see, like, yeah, you know what? Just sign the 40-year-old, get on the bench here, give us some quality minutes down the stretch, as we probably hope to lose out at this point. Here's an interesting topic, Joe, because we're always trying to improve things. And the All-Star game improved. Why? Not because of the format for me, just because the players play hard, and that's all we cared about. Just play hard for us. We'll watch and we'll enjoy it. The biggest players on the biggest stage here. How about Suns owner Matt Ishbia wants to put $1 million for the winners of the NBA Slam Dunk competition and three-point competitions in an effort to entice more star players to compete. Hear what he's trying to say here. Do you think a guy, let's just say Jaylen Brown, who I think is making $75 or $80 million, wants to go out and get into a dunk competition on Saturday night at the All-Star game, when he's probably more looking to get out of the arena and go to the biggest parties, because that's typically when they happen on that Saturday night? Or are you going to want that superstars get the $1 million but get embarrassed because they lost to a G League guy who dunked better than them? It's not going to help. And granted, us as fans, we don't care about the money because we don't get it here. You could offer them $50 million to the winner. Does that mean you're going to watch it, Joe, and be so excited that Jaylen Brown, who makes $80 million, just made $50 million, and you can share in that excitement here? No, it's not about the money. It's about the players just respecting the game. For the good of the game, superstars, can you dunk? Get out there. It improves the game. It makes ratings go up, which in turn makes your contracts more lucrative in the future here. $1 million isn't going to do a damn thing.
Well, $1 million will get the young guys to care, right? It'll get the Matt McClungs of the world. So the question is, Donnie, is the dunk competition, is it really at its best if we need to have the big name guys, the $50 million a year guys? Do I really need to see Giannis dunk? Is that it?
Yes, you do.
Or is it going to be better knowing that a Matt McClung or other young guys like that aren't household names, but they're going to give us dunks and try things that are over the top, Donnie, because they want the $1 million? That is the line that's drawn in the sand here with this offer. I get what he's doing. I think, guys, it'll be much better as long as you have guys putting the effort in to win. I don't know that $1 million is going to make Giannis want to do anything.
You know what to get it more hype to in the arena, Joe? How about this? Forget about the players getting paid for this. How about you do this? Everybody walks into that arena and they give you a ticket on your way in. 20,000 spectators. And you say, okay, stay for the dunk competition. Every 30 seconds, we're giving away $5,000 to a fan during this dunk competition. And the louder you cheer, the more money we'll put into the pocket here. There you go. Fans invested in it. Players play, they get the dunks here. But again, money never made any difference. Like the same thing, like, hey, the in-season tournament here, did you know each player is going to get like $1 million? The fans don't care about that. It doesn't hit our pocket here. Ridiculous. Enough with that stuff. But they're trying things. I can appreciate it. Money is not going to be the ultimate equalizer to get the superstars to dunk over $1 million when they go, I just made $1 million by taking a few pictures backstage here at the All-Star game. Why would I go out and dunk at this point now? Exclusive from Front Office Sports. WNBA players had a tense meeting Tuesday that the union executive director later called spirited, passionate, and at times tough. One cause of the disagreement among the players is the approach to a potential strike, sources said. How about that, Joe? Are we reading between the tea leaves here, good or bad?
This is not happening anytime soon, Donnie. I mean, it's not. There is a big contingency of players that have drawn a line in the sand here that think they are owed the world. And any sort of concession and not getting that is not something I think they're absolutely more than willing. Not all of them, but a certain portion of them are absolutely going to be willing to see this thing through the very end. You're missing games here this season.
And also, it's funny, like in the NBA and the NFL, like, you know, more than so in the NFL, right? Your time is short. It's like, hey, I can't miss a year. I only have like 5 years in the NFL to play, you know, 2.3 years or whatever it is for the average player. But in the WNBA, like, if you do strike, is it really that bad? It's like, well, I missed out on like 80 grand. That was my salary. Like, you can afford to do that. Like professional athletes, sometimes if entourages, you know, the size of their families, like, I can't afford to miss a season and miss out on $11 million. I got to take a loan out. Maybe the WNBA does have a little bit more power, because what are they actually missing out on here? You can go to Walmart and probably make just as much for some of them that make it there, Joe.
Well, that's the whole thing, Doug. You've got different generations of players here, and some are much more established, have already had their deals, their endorsement deals in place, right? They can probably withstand a strike, right, or missing. You're going to have a lot of people in it, like you said, Don. It's like, listen, if I don't do it, I got to go get a job. Like, we're not striking. Let's just take the money and run. And that's what's happening in that room right now.
We got a great topic here. This is polarizing, maybe to say the least, because I love what's happening here. And at the same time, I'm like, what are they actually doing? The Atlanta Hawks will be hosting Magic City Night to honor the legendary strip club at an upcoming game. It sounds like it's built out of like the old, the Chicago White Sox, where they have like, okay, 5-cent beer night, and they would or disco demolition nights. Like, what are they actually trying to do here? I can respect what they're doing, but at the same time, it's kind of wild, Joe. Hey, I'm going to take my 8-year-old down to the game tonight. He's like, hey, Dad, Magic City Night's awesome. Yeah, the city's magic. Don't worry about that, son. But, Dad, what's going on out here? Why are there poles around here in the 100 level? Son, don't worry about that. We're going to leave this game the minute it's over. You don't need to see what those poles are. Are we having poles down there, Joe? Are they going to hand out a stack of ones to every single person coming through the gate here? What are we doing?
I just imagine like the promotions teams outside the arena just handing out cards, right? Like, hey, man, 2-for-1s tonight, 2-for-1 dances. Yes. Usually you don't get professional teams partnering with strip clubs for promotion night, but hello, Atlanta. I can't wait to see this one now, Donnie.
Lemon pepper wings on full display. By the way, it's usually like these strip clubs do. It's like, hey, bring your game ticket and get free admission. Now it's the opposite. It's like, hey, you're going to get a 2-for-1. Come to the Hawks game, and you can go to Magic City and get some lemon pepper wings, and away we go. Magic City, guess who they're playing too? Yeah, the Orlando Magic are in town. Woo-hoo-hoo! Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number 1 in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it. Yeah. Don't you think so?
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on the island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers' record was better, but he's still at James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The last show, it's a Friday in the month of March. By the time we do this show on Monday, it is going to be March, and March Madness is on the horizon here. And it's time to get crazy, but on a Friday, the energy's always high. We can see the weekend right now. Donnie right side, Joe Ranieri. Let's welcome in Tom Vecchio to the show. Tom, how we feeling today? Energized? What do you got?
Yeah, feeling good. NHL is back. World Baseball Classic starts next week. Couple weeks till March Madness. Under a month at this point until real MLB games are being played. Great time to be a sports fan.
Great time to be a sports fan, no doubt about it here. Good to talk to Tom at this point. Now, by the way, Tom, are you under the weather a little bit? Is there a chance that I'll be doing a solo show Sunday for baseball? Don't leave me hanging out here, man.
No solo show on Sunday. I'll be there. We got plenty of days to recover until then.
There we go. Always in the plan for Tom Vecchio. By the way, Tom, did you notice Artemi Panarin had to pay up for his number 72? Yeah. The mascot wears 72. He had to get the mascot a Rolex. Impressive stuff here. It's a way to welcome the new guy.
Big thing in the NHL. It happened last year when Mikko Rantanen was traded from Colorado to the Canes. I got the number from Jack Roslovic for a Rolex, and then Rantanen left a couple weeks later after the Canes traded him to Dallas. Roslovic got his number back. So, trading Rolex is not a bad gig.
Not a bad gig at all here, but now we're a couple of games back after now the break there. So what are we expecting here in these final 20-some-odd games, and what are you looking at here tonight heading into the weekend?
So we have the trade deadline 1 week from today. It's March 6th at 3 p.m. or 3:30, whenever it is next Friday. So, teams are going to be taking their foot off the gas. We know that they're going to be resting players if they're going to be trading them. Specifically for today, Vegas, they're at Washington. Vegas should be getting 5 players back into their lineup, arguably their 5 best players. Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, Mark Stone, Noah Hanifin, and Shea Theodore. Now, they won without those players in the lineup the other day when they played at the Kings. But now they're on the road. They're expected to be back. So that's one thing I'm keeping my eye on. If all 5 are back, it's going to be 3, 4, whatever it might be. Keeping an eye on that. Also, for the Jets, the late game, Eric Comrie got the start for Winnipeg because Connor Hellebuyck was not ready. Will Hellebuyck be ready to play today? That's what I'm also going to keep my eye on, because right now the Ducks are at a pretty cheap price at -128. They've been playing some good hockey. We know they score. We know their defense is terrible. But if Hellebuyck's not going to be in there, then I'm still going to be looking to back the Ducks in some capacity. I will say this constant in and out for some players will be coming to an end, I would say today, maybe tomorrow at a latest, and then we have to worry about the deadline.
Worrying about the deadline, too. You take a look at the Florida Swing post, Olympic break for those Maple Leafs here. Not a good look. Smoked game number 1, back-to-back smoked game number 2 by the Panthers, 5-1 last night. What do we think about the Maple Leafs, Tom, for the rest of the season? And also, will they make any moves at the trade deadline?
If they're making any moves, it should be getting rid of players and acquiring assets, freeing up cap space, whatever it might be. They're done at this point. That's just what it comes down to. They're not going to be making the playoffs. They need to be looking towards the future and somewhat of a retool or not a full rebuild, but they need to do something drastic because what they're doing isn't working. Getting rid of Marner was not the right. I know the fans forced him out and he didn't want to be there, whatever it might be, but they need to replace that production and they need to solve the goaltending issue because it is an absolute disaster as it has been for years. So Maple Leafs not making the playoffs. They need to fix things and they need to get it going quickly.
Yeah, and Austin Matthews has got to come back let's come back home here. Maybe Florida pick him up. But Florida, that's a big win for them. I mean, listen, they're running out of real estate. Are they going to have a chance to defend their Stanley Cup, you think?
Yeah, I spoke to Scott and Gabe about this last time. We were talking about, prior to games resuming, what are the odds for the Panthers to make the playoffs, to not make the playoffs, where I expected them. To me, this was always a team that I knew they were going to start off slow this year, as they kind of did last year after their first Cup win. And them to make the playoffs, I think, is a reasonable bet at this point. Is it going to be a high seed? No. If anything, they're going to sneak into the wild card. That's just where they are in terms of the math and how many points behind they are at this point. But they need to make drastic moves. Like Zito, their GM, has shown the willingness to go chips to the center and make the drastic moves to get Marchand, to do get Seth Jones, whatever it might be. Because Barkov has been out for the entirety of the season, I think these drastic moves have to be almost exaggerated this year to make up for that loss, to bring players in, to say that they're still in this window. They still have a great chance. And frankly, the Atlantic Division outside of Tampa is not good. Like, I'm not sold on the Red. I think the Red Wings are having a great season, but they're not a proven playoff team by any stretch. The Sabres could make the playoffs, but not a proven team. Panthers could still very much win this.
How about the Flyers last night? And the Rangers love to see Mitchkov lighting the lamp twice, and the Rangers 6-15-5 at home. But Tom, since we only have a couple of minutes with you, I want to talk to you about this first week here in spring training. The ABS is all over the place now with opinions both left and right, Tom. We've seen it for a couple games now. How do you feel it's going to play out the rest of spring and also into the regular season?
We haven't seen like too many drastic results that have changed or that have swayed me one way or another of something I was unexpecting to see. I was expected to see, what we're going through. As it gets closer to the season, if there's a clear trend, which I don't think there will be, then that'll be something I'm looking on. But again, we talked about this on Pro Baseball Today. The two ends of the spectrum that I'm going to be looking at least early in the season when we're playing real games, is are pitchers getting pitches saved, therefore they can go deeper into games because they're getting free strikes that weren't strikes before, or now they're actually not getting strikes now that the pitch count is being run up. So if that's the case, then we're going to be seeing pitchers being pulled early, especially early in the season when they're not fully stretched out, and that means under on strikeouts, under on outs recorded, all these sorts of things. So really looking to the opposite ends. Obviously it'll fall somewhere in the middle as we get a big enough sample size, but at the beginning it can be very drastic.
World Baseball Classic. What are you leaning towards here? Looks like we got 3 at the top for a favorite, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, looking at some of the pool play odds, I think would be the best spot to go. The Dominican Republic, certainly a great team, but Venezuela is also a very, very good team. And in that pool right now, at least as far as I saw for some odds, Dominican Republic's minus 155, Venezuela's plus 150. Like, we're not dealing with like a massive favorite and a massive underdog. Like, that's not really that much of an upset if Venezuela were to win that pool D for the World Baseball Classic. So that's my initial lean. Japan's a huge favorite. USA's a huge favorite, at least in their pools. But Venezuela to come away with the winner in pool D at least wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, going to be some fun, man. It's a way that, sometimes spring training is quite boring. And yes, you get to see some of these games, but now you're going to see high leverage situations with really good baseball players. That's fun as it leads up to here, our Major League Baseball season. And Tom and I do a show each and every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on the SportsGrid Network. Pro Baseball Today. Catch us this Sunday. Donnie right side, Joe Ranier. We'll be back, Tom. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Friday. We'll talk to you soon. Get back after the break.
I know that Florida lost at home to Auburn, and it's a real thing that happened. So you can't strike it from the record. But if you did, I think Florida's looked like the best team in college basketball for about 2 months. And I think there are a bunch of results that suggest that.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number one in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Viewership numbers, Joe, we love to see them. Now, when we're not at the top of the scales here for being the best fast network in the business here, you know, Joe Ranieri down the right side pumping those ratings out in the morning. NBC Universal's legendary February has reached 223.8 million viewers, with official data now in for Sunday's gold medal hockey game closing ceremonies and Celtics-Lakers game. Look at the market of Buffalo. Why does Buffalo love hockey so much? Because their hockey team stinks all the time, Joe? They got to watch a good hockey team once in a while? Is that why they're up there at number one?
Well, I believe they were also snowed in with 75 feet of snow, Donnie, so there really wasn't a whole heck of a lot else to do but to watch the hockey and the Olympics there. But, yeah, that doesn't shock me, because it's just close enough to Canada, too, where, you know, you'll have some Maple Leafs fans there. A lot of interest in that market for the Winter Olympics, especially the hockey.
By the way, you don't see Philadelphia on that list here, because apparently when the Eagles season ends, we just shut the TV off until next August when football season starts up again at this point. Disrespectful, Philadelphia. Watch TV more. What's wrong with you guys? By the way, Flavor Flav, he invited the women to Las Vegas here on the 16th to the 19th. That's not even a one little, hey, let me just make an appearance. That's a whole weekend here. Now, here's the issue I have with this show. Why didn't he invite the men to Vegas? That's so heartbroken.
Do any of those women even know who Flavor Flav is? Like, is he kidding? Like, what? Like, stop it, Flavor Flav. Like, you still wearing the clock? Like, what's going on here? Do we have anybody relevant, Donnie, that might want to invite and throw a party for him? I'm just saying, my goodness, Flavor Flav, wow.
Now 3 days, though. Like, where are we going? Like, what's the itinerary looking at for that? Do we have a nice brunch to start it off, and then we just get hell-bent for 3 days and get hammered for 3 days? Or are we actually doing on-ice competitions? Or are we being, you know, have a little, like, bus that goes up and down the strip? Like, what do you figure She Got Game weekend looks like, Joe?
Yeah, is it bar hopping? I have no idea what exactly he was. But listen, if anybody would be able to put together a 3-day package, maybe Flavor Flav is the guy there in Vegas that wants to be or should be promoting it at that point.
Is it what? A Bruno Mars concert, a Celine Dion concert? You hit all the residents, maybe a Backstreet Boys concert, ends at the Sphere at this point. So good for the women here to party up in Vegas. And by the way, June is hot in Vegas here. See if they get some poolside action here and have some fun and pound some drinks here. How about another one here going back? Brady Tkachuk, man. They just keep on putting that mic in front of the Tkachuk brothers' face. Said he didn't appreciate the AI-doctored video released by the White House that made it appear he was disparaging Canadians, saying, I don't know those words. It says, quote, I know that those words would never come out of my mouth. How about that? Are you sure about that, though, Brady?
I mean, yeah, you should have owned it at that point. Just keep talking smack. Right? I mean, nobody talks more smack on the ice than he does anyway. But welcome to 2026, where everything you see on social media could very well have an AI component to it there, Donnie.
By the way, talk about like an AI component here. Like Jack Hughes feels like he's AI at this point. Is there ever, like, we talk about the Q ratings here of like, hey, what if I told you this guy's name? What do you think about it? Like Jack Hughes before the Olympics and Jack Hughes now, it feels like every arena he goes to, well, at least in the United States, like he will get a standing ovation as like the nation's conquering hero, as if he came back from like the leader on D-Day back in the 40s, Joe. I mean, this man is getting his credit, man. I love to see it.
I don't know, what do they call it? Future governor of New Jersey, too, yes. I believe, is what they think. Wow. Like, he is anything he wants, Donnie, it's he's going to get right up until, of course, they lose the next Winter Olympics, at which point nobody will remember who he is.
Exactly. Like if he was in like a real city, like for a hockey team, like he'd probably be a legend. But he could play for the Devils in what, 2-3 weeks? Who's Jack Hughes again? It's a shame he's in New Jersey. But he did say, by the way, when he got brought out on the ice the other night, like he loves to represent the state of New Jersey. Kind of interesting there. We'll see how long he stays in New Jersey, and away we go here. How about this? Another broken record for Matthew Schaefer. You've been following along here, Joe. The Islanders, his 18th goal this season, gives him the most by an 18-year-old defenseman in NHL history. Number one, to be 18 years old in the NHL is phenomenal. Number two, if you are a unbelievable forward, okay, I see he gets 18. 18 goals by a defenseman who's 18? Shoo-wee.
Kid is he's over the top good, Donnie. And kudos to the Islanders for being bad enough and being able to pick high enough to be able to get him. But at 18, I mean, what's he? We talk about Wemby here. At what's he going to be at 25? What's this kid going to be at 25, Donnie? My goodness.
It's unbelievable the way it looks there. By the way, some NHL action tonight, Joe, quickly. Vegas and Washington tonight, 5.5 total. Roughly a pick 'em here. VGK in Washington tonight.
Yeah, well, that's his Eichel back. Is he playing? Where are we at here, Vegas? Yeah, where are we at?
Let's party, people. Hour number 2 is coming up. 1 hour down. You're almost to the weekend. Stick around. We're going to have some fun.